Does my free cam work? Okay, there we go. Oh, just buggy. Anyways, welcome to the confines of North Carolina, where in Rockingham sits the 1 mile paved banked speedway. We are at what was formerly known as North Carolina Speedway, but nowadays it is commonly referred to as Rockingham Speedway, where today BPNR sets foot into the closing stages of the regular season, where today it'll be the Goober 99. You'll, you'll get the gist later. Whilst qualifying's ongoing, we take a look at the point standings. Donna Pratt and Joshua Clements have clinched their spots into the 12-man chase, so 10 spots left up for grabs, and Joshua Clements also isn't here, so that pretty much solidifies Donna Pratt's regular season championship. It is all talk amongst the cutoff line for multiple reasons. Currently, it is Tyler Aziz plus 56 in 9th place, and 10th place William Gregory plus 30 above 11th place. Then you got the two wild cards currently, Alexander Hunt in on points, and Nicholas Bedimlik in with the race win from Dover. We'll talk more about it when we go to happy hour, which is basically now, but first, take a look at the qualifying order. Tyler Aziz, who desperately needs the points, will sit upon the top of the grid, leading us to the green flag. It'll be Stephen Gibson P2, Donna Pratt, and Harry Crawford make up row 2, with William Viola and Landon Lau row 3. Daniel Rodriguez and Dylan Legrand in row 4, with Alexander Hunt and Thomas Troxel row 5. Jolene Sims and William Gregory row 6, with Cole Rodriguez and Skylar Den in row 7. Riley Trawick and Robin Gonzalez make up row 8. Brandon Carter and Dragons row 9, with Zach Armstrong and Karen McGilvery in row 10. Kirsten Bell, 21st, the only other car to set lap time, and she'll be joined with Jericho Boy, who will make up what should be a 22 car grid for today's events. So before I begin, let me set this camera up. But yeah, we got lots of talk. This is the penultimate race of the regular season. Got lots of drivers to mention. Tyler Aziz, 9th place in the points. He just won forward. It should give Gibson 1 bonus points, but every point is going to matter. He is realistically comfy, but every point is going to matter. So, one mistake, either tonight or next Tuesday, and he'll be down in the dumps and potentially out of the running. And Kirsten Bell, this is where wildcards get a little funky, I shall say. So currently it is occupied by Alexander Hunt and Nicholas Bedimlik. Kirsten Bell has a race win, but she is outside the top 20, so she will not be able to use her wild card. At least that's what it looks like heading into the race. So that actually brings up two more drivers in this conversation, William Viola and Daniel Lambeck. Lambeck is the only driver out of the three who isn't here, but all three of them have at least one race win. Viola, in relation to being in the top 20, is only 2 points out. Kirsten Bell, in relation to 20th place, is only 4 points out, and Lana Lambeck only 6 points out. So they could realistically point their way in. But Lambeck isn't here, so he is unable to do that. But Kirsten Bell and Viola can realistically point their way back into the top 20. And when they do get back in that range, they are eligible to utilize their wild cards for their race wins. So, well, realistically, I believe Viola is going to make the chase. With his 2 race wins this season, it's going to be a mad dash on who gets the final wild card, because there are multiple people outside the top 10 with raceman, with one raceman. So I presume that this will be the tiebreaker will be based on points. So you gotta, if you're Bell or Viola, or with Dimlick, who isn't even here, you gotta maximize the points. Oh boy. And there's Viola. He just got off his 5-race suspension after his insane wreck from Five Flags. You may have seen him yesterday for the All-Star race. He's going to get back into the swing of things. 2 points out of the top 20, but he should realistically make his way into the top 20 and get into the chase via the wild card. And speaking of the All-Star race yesterday, that was one hectic race. I don't think Charles was on track. He is here. He is not. He's not on track, but he is present. So, again, congratulations to Truxel for winning All-Star race. Yesterday, he gets the choice of the All-Star venue for next season's All-Star. I probably should ask him where that might be if he has an idea. But of course, he doesn't have to make that decision right now. Treywick is one of those drivers will be a little bit of a slump, and she's looking to point her way in, but with all this talk about wild cards, it makes the ideal point situation a lot harder to keep track of. So realistically, if you're Treywick, Gregory, M's in a hunt, pointing your way in may not be enough. You gotta go for that race win. Like, I want to say top 8 on top are likely to point their way in regardless if they have a win or not. So, they're comfy. 9th on bag is mainly the troubleshoot here for these drivers as they're looking to make their way towards the Season 8 chase grid. Made up of the top 10 in points plus 2 wild cards. But Jolene has her IFAR livery. Might have been an accident. But she has been a little bit of a terror lately, at least in IFAR. So, able to get the wild card and get into the IFAR chase, as well as her podium finish in Texas this most recent Saturday. She looks to be the strongest contender to potentially win this race. Now we talk more about the race itself. Rockingham really tricky. It's a little over a mile, officially labeled as 1 mile and 017. 1.017 miles. There we go. So that is the official distance. Now this is more I like want to call the legacy version of Rockingham, because the newer Rockingham that has seen trucks and Bush Series cars are more. It's a lot different compared to this version, and I actually just looked it up. It's relabeled to only 0.94 miles long, so there is difference there. But most LRDs they utilize this version, which is built off the BR version, which that was built off the Papyrus version, in case you didn't know, but it shall be race time. Make sure everything in my end is good, and we should be rock and rolling. Give me a sec. Alright, so right there you could see the chase kind of. I showcased it to coin, but I couldn't necessarily utilize it because I have my hands full. This time I do have Jonathan Salas who is an off-track admin tonight, but will also help me out with this behind the scenes. So thank you very much to him. And that will update about every 3 minutes or so, give or take.
Drivers, start your engines.
Engines have fired, and we wait for them to roll. It's going to be 99 laps, overtime as possible, hence why the ticker says 104 laps. Cup physics, and going to be 2x. We're utilizing the OSCC setup for today's excursions. Pace car dives in, front row made up of Tala Aziz and Steven Gibson. If you have anything for the chase, now is the time. We are green from North Carolina. Already tight for the lead. It'll be Gibson clear of Aziz. Still stuck at third, side by side. It'll be Crawford trying to get by LaPrade. And with the absence of Joshua Clemens, he has solidified the regular season championship. Lots of shuffling. You want to get to that bottom line. Although the top side has been proven to work, you just gotta get enough of a run to utilize it. Come on board with the 91 of Paul Rodriguez gave you a little bit of a track rundown. Only 22 degrees of banking through turns 1 and 2 down Thunder Alley. Now we got a little bit more leverage to work with as turns 3 and 4 are 25 degrees. So you can carry out a lot more speed through turns 3 and 4. Gibson's already ran away, while most of the top 10 has single filed out. William Viola trying to point his way into the top 20. He is looking side by side against Lane Lyle. This is for 6th place. Number 27 for the Mustang on the inside. It remains so nearly 3 wide. That being Skylar Day in the middle, who's warping. May have hit the 06 of Jolene Sims, but she keeps the car straight. Colrad really wants this 3-wide move to Ward. Now he's on the outside of Daniel Rodriguez, who thankfully has the 13 of Skylar Dennett back off. And boy is sending it. This man is making the outside word now. Top of 3 against Landon Lyle and Alexander Hunt. And man, this 91 car is a rocket ship already. And we're only about to complete lap 6 of the scheduled 99 at Rockingham. Oh, as soon as I say it gets loose, we're just ahead of this group on all of that show off from Cole Rodriguez that's been undone. He got to find his way back up the order. Thankfully, it's early, still got plenty of laps. Got side by side, this is for second. Got Harry Crawford up against Hala Aziz. And we got Thomas Troxel just waiting in the wings. So, same with Dunlap Pratt. Aziz is really backing off, but 25.5 this lap. That's might have gotten loose. And he was half a second slower than these two, Crawford and Troxel. Meanwhile, Gibson has checked out. We're already up to nearly a 3-second lead and growing. Okay, for 6th, we got Dylan Negron trying to defend against Alexander Hunt. Hunt's one of those drivers who will try to point their way into the top 10 in the standings. It needs every point he can get. When he gets clear in the ground, now is up against Dunlop Pratt, potentially for 5th place. And a 3 car lets him go. Up next is Tyler Aziz, and a diamond the corner and through 1 and 2. Okay, build a little bit of a run. There's a wreck in the back. That being William Viola. Skyler didn't collect it, and Landon Lau to bring out caution number 1. It is field frozen for tonight, so the field will slow down as soon as they can. And that early advantage that Stephen Gibson has built up has come undone. So we shall see what happens to trigger caution number 1. And coming into turn 1 here. Nearly the wide. Oh, that's. I think the 13 was worried about the 78, not wanting to pinch him up, so he turns down in front of Viola, trying to stay out that 78. And just behind him, they don't have really nowhere to go. Both of them coming back down the track. And Rockingham is one of those self-cleaning racetracks. So unfortunately, the 99 just nowhere to go on that one. So I'm probably not gonna get the race off pit lane, since maybe if I move my camera fast enough. Off pit lane, it'll be Gibson, it'll be Crawford and Aziz. Your top 3. Looks to be 4 tires for everyone, only 12 laps, but this is one of those tire degradation tracks. So every bit of rubber is going to matter. Doesn't seem anyone stay now. Skyrim still in the pit lane. Fires off, make sure that he doesn't fall 1 lap down under the caution period. And he looks to remain on the lead lap. And it is green this upcoming lap. Juice goes on the backstretch, which I personally find it weird given it's a 1 mile track, but whatever works. So it's going to be Gibson inside, Crawford outside, Troxel and Aziz follow suit, and those 2 respectively. And make your decisions quick, because we're about to go green. So it shall be Gibson who controls the field with Crawford on the front row, Troxel and Aziz row 2 with LePrad and Hunt row number 3. Base cars in. Up to 21, I think. Or it could be the game. Either or, we're back on the way. Lap 15. We're nearly 3 wide back here. Sign your message shallows if you're listening onto this, but yes, I do want that. That's if he's even watching at all. So it is Gibson charging away once more. Troxel able to get clear of Crawford for 2nd place. And Hunt's got 2 wolves of Jolene Sims and Tala Aziz, who were temporarily fighting for 5th. And really laggy server, the 14 is sideways in front of field. He gets tapped by Negron. It's going to be caution number 2. Be Skylar Den. I think that was the 77 who just impaled the backstretch pit wall. Rockingham used to have a backstretch pit lane, but well, it's still there. No one really utilizes it anymore. get that message through, then we shall look at it. We saw it live, but we'll see. Yeah, just server issue. The 14 bounced out that 65 of Daniel Rodriguez. 77. Oh, I think that was Gravoy who impales that wall at the backstretch here. And trying to slow down for the wreck, and man. And tough luck. That he retired, he immediately knew that that wrecked race car was unrecoverable. And Gregory getting a little damage here. 13 in the background, scouted dead. I believe it was only just a self spin, so no damage this time around. We missed pit stop, so we might as well look back at it. So as the pit pulls in, it'll be Jolene Sims weighing up the pit lane with Alexander Hunt's second. It'll be side by side. I think that was Gibson third. Narrowly. When you have a pit stop that's on the curve here through turn 1, you get that little bit of an advantage. Everyone who's on the straightaway has to adhere to normal pit protocols and run along the outside wall. So under our second caution flag of the afternoon, it'll be Landon Lau staying out to take control of the field. Jolene Sims on 2 tires, gonna line up outside. And Hunt and Gibson in row 2. 49 also on 2 tires. And 21 on back. Opted for 4 tires. So early tire strategies going on. Gotta get that track position while you can. So concluding the caution period, we wait for the green flag to be displayed. A little bit of a late green flag, but we are underway once more. 99 spinning the tires, left Jolene, a little bit more leverage into turn 1. And the 06 clear for the lead. Yumi Gibson following suit on those 4 fresh tires. And Thomas Schroxel up to 3rd after restarting 5th. And we see Traywig with these, I wouldn't say questionable strategies, but just strategies that, now I think about it, are more realistic in a sense, but it's more or less just one of those strategies where you gotta hope that there's a quick yellow. Not quick within like 2 or 3 laps, but long enough, but short enough to where it forces everyone back down the pit lane. Randy Trawick being one of those people who are trying different things when there are quick succession of caution flags. We've had 2 of them already within the first 20 laps. And then Grant with that right side damage, 7th place currently. Man, he's got to tussle that way around the race course for another 3/4 of the race. Side by side, and now pops the wall just a smidge. 9th place goes to Daniel Rodriguez. 99 still trapped on the outside. Gotta find a hole on the inside. The pride goes through. Brandon Carter looks to get by him before, unless he hits the apron and wrecks him. 78 saw bounce off the wall. It'll be exchanged for potentially 15th. William Gregory looks inside on that 78 Ford Mustang. Viola, who got collected in the first yellow, trying to rally his way back up. One way or another, he either blitzed through the field or is thinking the long game, save his tires and pick them off once a long run comes in. Back up front, side by side for the race lead. Steven Gibson wants the lead back. Gotta go up against Jolene Sins, who is hanging tough on the outside. Troxel with the speed. Out of turn 4, unable to make a move. He'll hang tight for just at least one more set of corners. And caution. But that's William Gregory and Dragons. We just saw these two battling for what was 15th. So caution number 3. Yep, this is for 15th. And 78 bounces off the wall, and Gregory nowhere really he can do for that. Now we'll right on board with Gregory. And what was essentially just a quick explanation. 2 cells, 2 spins, and to trigger the counterplay. Those two being involved in the same wreck. Everyone down pit lane. This helps the 97 of Treewick with the 2 tire calls. Same with Arizona Hunt. And they'll be able to put on 4 fresh Goodyears and get themselves a track position. But the biggest gain is Lane Allow. He got collected also in the first wreck, so to stay out and stay within the top 10, and he'll be a net gain. Trump or Gibson wins out the pit lane. Jolene P2. Who was that for third? That was between teammates of Crawford and Troxel. Looks to be Crawford, who will line up likely 3rd place, assuming no one stayed out. Back in the pit lane goes Kirsten Bell. She likely stayed out to get the lap led. Remember, she is outside the top 20, only needing 4 points, but she'll have to fight and get amongst a couple other cars to utilize her wild card, because there are 2 wild cards, yet there are, I want to say, 4 or 5 people who are eligible for that. If you can't outwin them, you gotta outpoint them. Coming to choose cone, it'll be Gibson warping to the inside. Jolene goes opposite. So under caution number 3, which will be concluded shortly, it'll be Gibson with the control of the restart. Jolene Sims 2nd. It'll be Crawford and Treyway row 2 with Troxel and Cole Rodriguez row number 3. Up the gears we go. Back on the way at Rockingham. 21 with a beautiful getaway. Still side by side for 2nd. Oh, holy. I don't know if that was an attempt to block or what for William Viola against Daniel Rodriguez. All the way back here. This is for, I believe this was the 11th place. Yes, sir. So, a little feisty already after just coming off his suspension. Back up here, Troxel gained by Crawford for 3rd place. Terrible run through 3 and 4. The 76 had opens the door for Chwayback, who spins just in front of her. Oh, it'll be 2 cars. Caution's out. Can't keep the wheels underneath them. 78, I hear him gas it up and, just lost the back end. Very easy to do that at Rockingham. The turns 1 and 2 are slightly less banked than 3 and 4. It's kind of like Texas in a weird way. But, yeah. And 97 on the outside of the Prad. And she gets clipped. And rear end damage. So lack of downforce is going to be a poor handling race car. You need downforce at these smaller racetracks. I've run down the pit lane once more. And what has been a hectic race for BPNR at Rockingham. They were absent here in Season 7, but did race here in Season 6. There was their most recent visit. It's going to be Jolene Sims out of the pit lane, but in the ground second. They've taken 2 tires. And Gibson, with 4, leaves the pit lane 3rd. So it's Hunt, the only driver to stay out. Saw a similar play by him and a couple others be 20 laps ago now. They're trying alternate strategies with these frequent yellows. Like, something that these drivers have to keep in mind is like, they don't know when the last caution period will be, so this very well could be the final caution, and we just don't know it. So that 49 car may suffer during the long run. Maybe the 06 and 77 with those 2 right side freshies. These drivers gambling that there's a quick yellow or a long run to pick off drivers and solidify their positions when the race is over. So Shelby Alexander Hunt, who is the first leader of the race to choose the outside for the ensuing restart. This should be interesting. Pace car dives in. 2 Chevrolets on the front row, followed by a Toyota and a Peugeot in row number 2. Toyota, Chevrolet in row 3. We are back on the way. The 49 does not get going. Inside, able to power through on the inside, Jolene Sims to the race lead. And we are also under caution cooldown, so even if they wreck, it won't matter for, I believe it is 5 laps. So these drivers gotta keep their cars clean, stay out of trouble. I especially don't want to be someone towards the mid-pack if there's an ensuing wreck. Be still side by side for the lead. A little bit of warping might be from the server. Oh, that's Troxel sideways, but he gets it corrected. But he's going to potentially lose 3rd position over to, the Cole Rodriguez. And there he goes. He's going to be the only car to spin. McGowies gets the wall. I don't know that. Everyone avoids the accidents. Back up front, Gibson pulling away ever so slightly from Jolene. Cole Rodriguez promoted to third. LaPrat has just gotten by Hunt for fourth place. 3 wide back here. I saw momentarily that being Dragons able to defend against Daniel Rodriguez and Roman Gonzalez. But the 0-2 car's gonna bounce off the wall, lose a few more positions. Indeed, I guess 1 year before, he won the most recent race when BPNR ventured out to Rockingham 2 seasons ago. So he knew how to get to victory lane here. It's just a matter of if he's able to repeat it. I mean, a little bit sideways, I believe that was Crawford. I was displaying that. And trying to peek his nose underneath both plates on Dragons. And caution cooldown has ended, so we're back to standard caution procedures. As the lap's winding down, we're about to hit, I believe, 5 to go for the stage. There is no caution for it, but the top 5 do receive points towards the championship. Some drivers may not need it, like Dan LaPrade, but others, like Alexander Hunt, he needs those points. And it'll be in exchange for second place. LaPrade gets the better of Jolene. And 13 of Skyler then looking to challenge the 49. Got lap carb ahead, that being Troxel, saw himself spin a few laps ago on those worn tires, begging for a caution, but he's not going to remain on the lead lap. He's going to let people through, those being the race leaders. Check back here, Billy Viola 9th, is currently trapped behind Dylan McGraw. The restarts have been chaotic. You've got side-by-side action as the juice gun promotes it, but trying to get single filed out, you can take opportunities of other people's mistakes, or in this case, the car ahead of you catching that traffic in a bad spot. You know, in order to make those overtakes. There's a spin in the back, that being Dragons in number 78. He spins along Thunder Alley and it's only a single car. Troxel on the apron. I believe he has a tire down. And he's going to make it to the pit lane. So either this or the next lap is the halfway stage. Again, no caution. Just the top 5 game points. It is 99 laps scheduled, so it's really up to them. And confirmation that was the halfway. So old Gibson gets a little loose and he's going to spin it. He saves it. And just in the nick of time, he won this stage, but he's going to lose that track position. Dan LaPrade across the line in second, Sims in third, Cole Rodriguez in fourth, Alexander Hunt, he needs those points, he gets fifth. So on to the second half of the race. As now, Dan LaPrade has the race lead. There'll be a fight for second place as Jolene Sims looks to defend against Cole Rodriguez into turn number 3. And Sims running a better line at the yellow line, able to defend. And 21, he's paying now. That wasn't him, but his message came through the game chat. Brandon Carter, you see, also pitting. There's Gibson. Man, oh man. Just as he thought Gibson was going to run away with it, he ends up with a mistake. Check back here. Landon Loud, stuck in traffic, scored 12th place. 3 wide, just in front of him. That being Armstrong on the inside. Dylan LeGrand in the middle, and Gregory high side momentarily, but Gregory and Lionel Lau able to make it through. That's Dylan LeGrand bouncing off the wall, turn number 4. And all of this mist has the lap car of Jenkins. Just saw him spin a few laps ago. And not opting to pit yet. He has damage. That spin likely has him on worn tires. Or maybe he did pit, judging how he just blew by Armstrong on the outside. Looking on Gregory on the inside in turn 1. Makes that move. Oh, he's going to get loose. We're just behind Landon Lyle. Only pecks the wall at the apex of turn 2. And he's going to lose all that speed. And trying to put himself back in a relative top 15 contention. Man. I mentioned D-Dog winning this race. The driver finished runner-up, Landon Lau. He hasn't had the best of seasons. He has been able to remain consistent, currently opting to point his way into the chase. Really comfy. So he realistically has something to worry about. It sucks that he has recent mechanical failures that prohibit him from continuing that consistent running, but that's none of his doing. That's just the game giving the middle finger, if you will. Side by side for 5th, got Skylar down on the inside, number 13 Toyota. He has moved over to Armstrong Racing Incorporated, and starting this race, he's going to get nearly swapped up 3 wide. D-Dog looked at it. He had his nose underneath, but 13 guy loose in front of him, forcing D-Dog to back out. He's gonna have to try this again. Kirsten Bell, I see down the pit lane. But I believe the pit stops are soon to come. Here comes Jolene Sims for the race lead on La Prade. She's going to get that position. Here comes La Prade, potentially for the crossover. He's gonna look outside. And then back inside. And look at him fourth, William Viola. This man, he looked like a rocket ship in the first few laps. He got involved in the first caution. And now he is up here fighting for the lead. 4-man dog fight. Current about to complete lap number 60. That's 06 bouncing up the wall. Got loose in front. That's 27 as he built up a run. Hopefully to utilize down the back straightaway. And I believe the pit cycle has started. There's Nick Grahn in the pit lane. Yeah, I mentioned those tires. Viola is just one of those drivers who's really a tire saving specialist in NR2003. Alright, here he comes. It's gonna be 3 wide, nearly. The Pride backs out. But at very minimum, Viola should be able to go through for 2nd place. And he likely will, but not before. Jolene Sims gets loose off 2 again. She opens up the inside for Viola to go through. William Viola to the lead. Now it's gonna be a crossover. Jolene Sims. And she's not done leading laps. In another league, IFAR, Jolene had to rely on a wild card. At the opposite end of the spectrum, William Viola won that regular season championship. So he's familiar with these types of setups, the implications of the chase. But what Viola didn't have to do during their regular season was worry about getting a wild card. And McGarry's up ahead. He just exited the pit lane. Shouldn't be a threat to him unless he self-spins. So within that pit window, the most recent caution came out at lap 37. So with this being a scheduled 99 laps, this should be where most people will opt to pit. But they can stretch it out a few more laps to gain more leverage, more tires to use in the final laps, the final stint, roughly 20 to 25 laps depending on when they pit. Here comes Steven Gibson. He had to pull a save during the lead. Just after waiting the stage, we saw one. I heard one spinning. There was also Crawford smacking the wall as I was trying to find them, but yeah, they must have gone somewhere. I don't know. Viola pulls away to what is now over a 1 second lead. Roman Gonzalez also on fresh tires, caving through the leaders. Maybe in exchange for second, Jolene Sims, she's really confident on that top side. But if she keeps bouncing off the wall like that, she's not going to make that utilization work, that speed advantage in the straightaways. And now it is Cole Rodriguez up to second. I see in the chat number 27 and number 3 coming in this lap. All 3 of them to the pit lane. Where did Cole go? Cole Rodriguez was with this group. Did he fall out? Well, fortunately, it wouldn't be the first time Cole Rodriguez fell out when he was in fighting for the lead. Happened to him at I-4 Darlington. Don't know where he went, but at very minimum, Sims, Viola, and Dunn have opted for 4 tires, and yep, there goes Cole Rodriguez. So he's gonna need a caution to get himself back in the lead lap, and on top of that, with this being 30 laps to go, he's gonna need a prayer to find his way to race winning contention once more. So Viola, out of these 3, has the provisional race lead. I believe it is Treywick, Negron, and Gibbs. No, Gibson pitted already. I'm unsure if Treywick has. He has rear end damage he sustained after getting tapped by a self-spinning Harry Crawford. Oh, that's Troxel on the top side, gonna try to get out of the way as soon as he can. That's really close call, but he gets it out of the way, collecting no one else. Never mind that I see Cam McGilvery's fighting for a top 5. Like, you just can't convince me that this man gets into the top 10 with this field size on merit. The biggest loser out of this is Dunlap Pratt. He has not exactly lost touch with this lead group, but he has lost the most amount of time. He went in 4th in close proximity to Jolene Sims and Cole Rodriguez, but he has since lost at least a second to them. So Gibson has the biggest advantage I've seen this race, thanks to him pitting early, without being because he nearly self-spun. He brake saved, so he kept the car straight, but his tires were at the cost of it. So he's gonna go into overtime on tire saving to make this strategy work. Cole Rodriguez back on track. He fell out the server. He was fighting for the lead, so he's gonna need a caution. Second place, Dylan Negron. And just behind him, in exchange for third place, Ray Trevick on older tires than Viola. She's going to let him through. It's going to be Jolene Sims in 5th, Lana Lau in 6th, Stella Pratt 7th, Karen McGarvey is P8, Armstrong P9, and Daniel Rodriguez in the top 10. Got 3 retirements, that being Dragons, Brandon Carter, and Jared Goodvoy. 15 cars on the lead lap. How about fastest lap? Steven Gibson, who I believe has led the most laps so far, potentially. Now that he's leading, that might be an extra insurance for him, so he also gets currently has the fastest lap, 23.901. The only driver to say 23-second lap time. Second place is McGarvey, so maybe that top 10 is not just a fluke for the 96, but as soon as I turn back to him, he's getting passed left and right. Well, mostly on the left, but he has fallen outside the top 10, so that didn't last long. And that makes retirement number 4, Thomas Troxel, the most recent retirement. With 2 self-spins during this green flag run. That could have been a top 10 finish but for the number 1 team, but he has called it quits with 20 laps remaining. But what a slicer for Landon Loud. Going to be a move for 3rd place on Dylan Negron. Easy pass. Gibson down pit lane, so that he was not making that strategy work. He was not gonna stretch it 50 laps on one set of tires. Rightfully so. Got 2 lap cars ahead of Viola, side by side. This being for position, 15th place, Roman Gonzalez and Kirsten Bell. Roman does the sensible thing of letting the leader go, but Kirsten Bell tries to gamble to stay on the lead lap, but she's going to self-spin nearly in front of them, but she keeps the car straight, avoiding any further contact. Boy, she nearly gets into lane allowed. That with those heated tires, she's going to struggle for handling. And look at this mess back here. Riley Trebeck on those old rubber, having to fend off this gaggle of 4, being led by Daniel Rodriguez. And they will snake her their way past the number 97 car. And if they just missed a pass for the lead, I'm gonna kill myself, but take a quick look at it. Side by side had already been established through turn 1. Likely because the 27 had to lift off for Kirsten, so that gave up mid-corner speed. So Jolene Sims was able to track down the 27 to get the race lead, coming to 15 laps to go. But was that the right time to make the move? I mean, they're on the same tire strategy. Well, the top 3, which now LaPrade is in the top 3, thanks to the overtake on Lana Lau for that position. The top 3 have all pitted on the same lap, so there is no difference between them. It's just a matter of how much did Jolene push to maintain pace with Viola. And Miracle Boy, McGarvey's out pit lane. Maybe trying to get fastest lap for himself? I don't know. Got nothing to lose. There's a lot of feathering, and Viola's gotta be extra cautious. 2 lap cars on fresh tires are gonna split him 3 wide. But Trainwick thinks better of it. She backs off. McGilvery is gonna fly around the outside. I think this puts him back on the lead. No, it puts him only 1 lap down to the race leader. Trainwick is looking to follow the 96 through. Those two are on the same lap, so they were technically fighting for position. So I suppose it's fair game. I don't know. Okay, Gibson has caught the top 3, still only 1 lap down, but he wants to put himself on the lead lap in the event of a late race yellow. Gonna have to overtake Dunlop-Pratt first as they breach the 10 to go mark. Sergio Lane put up a good fight against Gio Bononi Saturday IFAR at Texas. When she kind of just didn't have the speed anymore once the second half of that final stint kicked in. So she didn't even get second. She lost that to Joe Anderson. So to be in the lead with under 10 to go against William Viola, another great tire saver, you just ponder if that was the right time to make the move, 15 to go, and if that 27 has anything up his sleeve. But I don't know if he can necessarily take that gamble now that the Pratt has caught these two. So it's going to be a 3-man fight for the lead as opposed to a 2-man fight at Texas. Steven Gibson has just gotten by the leader to put himself back on the lead of the lap. There's 7 laps to go at the Rock. At 6, see, check back on 4th, Landon Lau. He's doing stuff on his own island. Got defensive play for Zach Armstrong up against Alexander Hunt. Been trying to get himself a top 5 position, get every point he can muster in these closing stages of the regular season. With 5 to go, Gibson is ahead of Jolene, but he's not necessarily pulling away. It will allow the 06 to get a tow, which evens out the playing field. While draft isn't necessarily a huge factor at Rockingham, it does make a difference in lap times. The 3 of the Pratt fading ever so slightly. It might just come down to these two. Got a couple more cars up the road. Unsure if they'll get to them. 06 a little loose and the apex. Allows 27 to take up the full capacity of the 06's mirror. He looks outside with 3 to go. He keeps his nose out there. Well, but the 06 chops him off ever so slightly. She was clear. Maybe a crossover. And what was, honestly, well, it looks like a perfect arc for the 27 to try to crossover move. 2 to go. Keeps down on the outside. He's gonna force Jolene to make a mistake. She's loose on that middle lane. Side by side. That opens the door up for Viola. Got 1 more mile to decide this. If they take the white flag, Jolene Sims with the run out 4. She is back in front. And she gets loose again, once again opening the door. And this time she'll not get the chance to defend, at least for the lead. She's gonna pull an aggressive block on the Pratt, but coming out of the floor, the tire saving specialist delivers again at Rockingham. Win number 3 of the season for William Viola. And that will mean, assuming he stays in the top 20 after next week, he has clinched the first of 2 wild cards. Now what a finish. William Viola, after taking a lengthy vacation, burns it down in front of Rockingham, North Carolina. Oh, I think he, I think his game crashed while he's trying to finish that up, but really good race despite that. Let me check. Yeah, the order got screwed over. Oh, he DQ'd, that's why. Um, I'm gonna have to read it off here. So, William Viola gets the race win just narrowly, uh, gaining that last second opportunity to make that pass on Jolene Sims. It's going to be Dunlap Pred completing the podium. It'll be Lanolao P4. Good run for him. He needed that after his bad streak as of recent. Amazon Hunt's 5th. Good run for him. He needs those points as well as those stage points. There's only 3, but every point's going to matter. 6th place, Zach Armstrong. And is a little ways back before you find Harry Crawford in 7th. Tyler Aziz in 8th. William Gregory in P9. And Daniel Rodriguez in the top 10. Then is Skyler in 11th. Dylan Negron in 12th. Stephen Gibson 13th, final car to finish on lead lap. Riley Trewick in 14th. Kirsten Bell 15th, ultimately being the decider on if Jolene was going to win this race, unfortunately. She did her best to stay out of the way, but yeah, just circumstantial. Wrong place, wrong time to catch the lap car. Roman Gonzalez 16th, Cole Rodriguez 17th. It really sucks for him. He was in the top 4 uh, in that dogfight for the lead prior to pit stop, but his game crashed just as the leaders were making their way down the pit lane, and he did not get the caution to put him back in the lead lap. Gail McGilvery's 8 laps down in 18th, and the final car to finish the race, I think. So that leaves Truxell 19th, Dragons 20th, Brandon Carter 21st, and Jericho Voy completing the 22 car grid. And I'm out of breath, but, well, the first half of that race was really, really disappointing, but couldn't really muster a long enough run, but it did make up. The second run did make up for it. Really good. So, we have a couple people down here. So I'm actually going to start with Viola.
User was moved to your channel.
William Viola, do you got me?
Yes, 1 second. I just have to turn your volume up. All right, ready.
Well, what a thriller that was, huh? Despite the three of you, uh, you, so Sims, and the Pratt pitting on that same lap, you were still able to not only keep the lead, but even when the 06 got past you, you were able to rally back up to her rear bumper and make the last lap pass. That exchange for the win during those closing laps must have given you a raise for your money, huh?
Yeah, Don and Jolene are always great battling on track. They always put up a hard fight, but a fair fight. And today was just another example of that. I would really the right rear had a lot of wear at this track, at least how I was driving it. So my advantage over them is you had the option. You could go full throttle by like the center of the corner, and you would have enough grip. But I would, hold it at like 50 to 70% until like the exit of the corner, just to get that little more rear tire saved. And I mean, you saw um, that long run before the pit stop. Was just able to pull tenths on both of them, um, and then had a great pit stop. Um, but yeah, the lap cars really came into play there at the end. I don't think I was gonna get that. Jolene's really good at defending, and that was gonna be that was gonna be tough. Um, without the lap car, it sucks that you know lap cars got in the way, but it happens. It's not anyone's fault really. They're just there.
Yep, wrong place, wrong time. But with this being your third win of the season, you have pretty much clinched up the first of two wild cards as long as you remain within the top 20 come Charlotte. Do we expect a little bit out of you come next Tuesday?
Uh, yeah, I think so. The that track was the same track used in IFAR, and I was second best car that race. So, and with Gino not racing BPNR, I'm the best car out of on the long runs out of cars that were in that race. So, question mark where Dunn is on this track. He could be up there, but I'm pretty confident going into there. Today was just supposed to be a kind of survival race, but turned into a win. So that's pretty nice.
Well, you had a lengthy vacation, but you didn't skip a beat. Congratulations on your race win tonight. Thank you for joining me.
User was moved out of your channel.
Take a little drink before we move on. Right, stay hydrated. Move over to our podium finisher.
User was moved to your channel.
Donna Prad, do you got me?
Yep, I do.
Well, quite done as the usual, kind of just sitting within the top 5 all day. You pitted with Sims and Viola, but while you did have the courage to work their work your way towards the top 2, did you even had anything for them?
I think I just needed both of them to make a mistake, and then maybe I would have been able to pounce it. I saved my stuff early on in the run just to have a little bit of security for the end of the run in case both Will and Jolene would have battle it out. I knew that I would rather I would rather wear out my red rear tire more than my right front tire, so I prioritized that to have a little bit more of a looseness to get a little bit more grip out of it. So I wouldn't understeer it, but I don't know. It probably would not have made a difference either way. I think both of them was just really um, dominant, at the end of that race and really all day too. It also didn't help that I was battling with Steven for the halfway bonus there to get another point for the chase, and it didn't quite work out very well, which kind of leave off the day with nothing to gain, just other than extending the championship lead, but it's not going to matter when we get into the chase. So it is what it is. We're going to go into Charlotte next week, and hopefully I'll be able to. Hopefully I can pull off the win there.
Hey, what about that pace for Charlotte? Feel like just before you had a big question mark on your performance. He was second fastest at Charlotte when I first went over there, only losing to Giambononi. So, what do you got for him in BPNR when they head to Charlotte next Tuesday?
Well, hopefully I could be one spot ahead of him the next time. He's always very tough competitor to beat. I mean, you see that with his win at Chicagoland and uh, uh, down in Wanneroo, and then of course Five Flags he got wrecked there. So and then tonight as well, he was definitely on rails as well. So it's he's always a very tough competitor to beat. I certainly respect him a lot. Hopefully, I can go in and beat him next week. But he, like I said, he's going to be very tough to beat. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes.
Well, congratulations on your third place finish tonight, and congratulations for officially clinching the regular season championship. Thank you for joining me.
Yep, thank you, Victor.
User was moved out of your channel.
Got one more on me, that being Tala.
User was moved to your channel.
Tala Aziz, are you alive?
Maybe.
Well, you looked strong in the early going until you had a really unfortunate skill issue and you were just stuck in the trenches, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty much. It was. I'm really annoyed by that. I feel like I had speed too. I mean, I'm probably not contender to win. I don't know how fast Jolene and Will and were up there, but like they were definitely like in like a league of their own. But I could have for sure gotten top 5 in some stage points, and I threw it all away there. So that's really unfortunate. But I still rebounded for a top 10. I mean, I'll take the points I can, I guess. I really wanted to at least like make it easier for myself to like for next week, but I should still have like a gain over the cut line. Actually, hmm,
I
I don't know.
can actually check on that. You are currently 45 points ahead of cutoff, so not exactly comfy, but it should suffice as long as you do well.
Yeah, because we didn't like how.
He
I should
didn't
know.
race tonight.
He didn't race today. He didn't take a provo. Uh, actually, he's okay. And he has a start count as well. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't afford to have it where like I finish basically last next week and he like gets a top 5. Then I guess because Will's basically locked in. Um, yeah, it's basically just gonna be like it's with Will and Mudima locked in. Yeah, it's basically just gonna be between me, Gregory, and Hunt, I guess, then for the final spot. So, uh, Charlotte is a solid track for me. I should be able to, at the very least, run top 10 there and get like good points there, as long as I don't burn out my stuff or put myself in a position where I wreck myself. But uh, yeah,
Well, if all else goes wrong, you could most likely fall back on your wild card. Congratulations on your top 10 finish here in Rockingham. Thank you for joining me.
yep. Thank you for broadcasting.
User was moved out of your channel.
And that should be everyone. Before I wrap up, might as well take a look at the point standings now that they have been updated to include everyone's running finishing order. So Delaprat still leads, and he has clinched the championship, the regular season championship, 199 over Joshua Clarence, who was absent. Cole Rodriguez, after his unfortunate mishap. Third place, only 2 points ahead of Jolene, who had a very stellar final stint, but just unable to capture the checkered flag in the lead. Floating around the cut line. Like I mentioned, Talha 45 above the cut line. Not exactly comfy, but it should suffice for him. 10th place. Meanwhile, Brandon Gregory only 16 above, so he's got some work to do. The first wild card goes to William Viola. That's pretty much sealed up. He has 3 race wins, including this one tonight. And the second one currently occupied by Nicholas Bedimlik, who is absent for this race. So that leaves the first person out, Alexander Hunt, who is 16 points behind that cutoff line for 10th place. And Riley Trewick, really unfortunate. She was going somewhere with her alternate strategies, but just got caught up in someone else's mistake, and now she sits 65 points below the cut line. 15th, Brandon Carter, his DNF pretty much solidified his realistically unlikelihood of him making into the BPNR chase. So, now to wrap up, tomorrow BPNR heads to North Wilkesboro for D2 action. One of the few solo races for them. They'll be streamed tomorrow. Friday, we got Budweiser at Charlotte for their Coca-Cola 600. That'll be covered here as well. 9 p.m. Gnarl heads to Pocono, where that'll be broadcasted by Cheese Food Media 10 p.m. Essex has their regular season finale from Talladega, just a little shy before midnight. Saturday, OSCC completes the Pocono doubleheader. That'll be 7:55, with IFR heading into their second round of the chase at 9:30 on Cheese Food Media. Then next Tuesday, it's a Charlotte, the Coca-Cola 150, the 100th lap regular season finale from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So that should be exciting. Still got lots of potential hovering around the cutoff line. Still lots of potential to have a last second winner to potentially steal a wild card. Everything is still on the table. So with that, thank you for tuning in, and